The glass heart, strength that doesn't break. There is a kind of strength the world doesn't understand. It doesn't roar, it doesn't dominate, and it doesn't demand to be seen. It's quiet, transparent, like glass. People often mistake this kind of strength for fragility. They think that if you feel deeply, you must be weak. If you're open, you must be vulnerable. But the truth is, the most powerful hearts are the ones that never close, even after they've been shattered. Because real strength isn't about avoiding pain. It's about allowing it to pass through you without losing your shape. The glass heart isn't cold or indifferent. It's not protected by walls of iron or armor of pride. It's bare. It reflects the light around it and lets others see straight through. And yet, it doesn't break as easily as people think. Because clarity, not hardness, is what keeps it whole. We live in a world that glorifies toughness. We're told to build walls, to hide our emotions, to stay strong by staying silent. But silence is not strength, suppression is not peace, and pretending not to care only builds emptiness inside you. The glass heart knows this. It doesn't seek to escape feeling. It accepts it, studies it, and transforms it. It doesn't fear love, even though love might hurt. It doesn't fear loss, even though loss is inevitable. Because the glass heart understands that transparency, honesty, is what connects us to everything real. There's a quiet resilience in that kind of openness. When you let life move through you, you stop clinging, you stop resisting. And resistance is what truly breaks us. People who harden themselves against pain also harden themselves against joy. They protect themselves from heartbreak, but also from love. They guard against disappointment, but lose wonder. They build walls so high that even peace cannot reach them. The glass heart refuses that kind of safety. It chooses to risk itself every day, to remain soft in a world that keeps asking it to turn to stone. And that choice is what makes it strong, because it takes more courage to feel than to hide, more discipline to stay open than to close, more strength to forgive than to fight. The glass heart doesn't run from pain. It lets pain become light. It bends it, refracts it, transforms it, the way sunlight shines brighter when it passes through glass. That's the paradox of the Stoic heart. It feels deeply, yet it remains still. It understands that emotions are not enemies, they're messengers. And if you listen without judgment, they'll always guide you toward truth. But this truth isn't easy. To live with a glass heart means to live without armor, to stand in the storm with no shield but awareness, to trust that what is fragile can still endure. And yet, that's where the real power lies, because when you stop fearing your own breaking, the world loses its power to control you. What can be broken and still remain whole, that's the essence of resilience. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The glass heart lives by that law. It turns pain into wisdom, heartbreak into clarity, and solitude into peace. But let's be honest, living this way hurts. There are days when it feels unbearable, when kindness feels wasted, when honesty feels foolish, when being soft feels dangerous. Because the world often rewards those who shout louder, fight harder, and close faster. But peace does not belong to them. Peace belongs to those who can hold their center when everything around them spins out of control. The glass heart doesn't need the world to be gentle. It only needs to stay clear, to keep reflecting light no matter how dark it gets. Strength of all. The Stoics never said to feel nothing. They said, feel everything, but don't let it control you. That's the essence of the glass heart. It doesn't close itself to protect its peace. It keeps itself open to deepen it. Think about that. How peaceful you become when you stop running from what hurts. When you let sadness exist without calling it failure. When you let love exist without demanding permanence. When you let life exist without needing to understand it all. That's the beginning of freedom. Peace doesn't come from what you avoid. It comes from what you accept. To walk with a glass heart means to walk in awareness, to notice what breaks you, and to keep walking anyway. To see pain as part of the design, not a flaw in it. The cracks that form don't destroy you. They shape you. They become patterns, reflections, reminders of the battles you've survived. And over time, those cracks begin to shine. Light finds its way through them, and what once looked like weakness becomes art. Kintsugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold, is built on that same truth. They don't hide the fractures, they highlight them, because beauty isn't found in perfection, it's found in resilience. The glass heart follows the same rule. It doesn't seek to erase pain, it transforms it into wisdom. You'll know you've begun to master this when you can look back at what hurt you and feel gratitude instead of bitterness. When you can see that every crack in your heart made room for more light to enter. When you can understand that the things that tried to destroy you actually refined you. To reach that point is not easy. It takes patience, reflection, and courage. It takes choosing peace over pride, clarity over comfort. It takes realizing that sometimes strength is not in holding on, but in letting go gently. The glass heart knows this. It doesn't cling. It trusts that what's meant to stay will stay and what leaves was never meant to belong. It doesn't chase people. It doesn't chase outcomes. It focuses on maintaining clarity and letting everything else fall into place. That's the highest form of emotional discipline, to stay open, honest, and kind in a world that celebrates the opposite. When others choose vengeance, you choose understanding. When others shout, you stay quiet. When others armor up, you remain transparent, because you know that truth needs no defense. This kind of peace is not passive, it's powerful, because it cannot be taken, only maintained. The world may try to shake you, but it cannot control you. People may misread your calm for weakness, but it's actually strength refined. And when you meet another person who also lives with a glass heart, you'll recognize them instantly. Their presence feels weightless, their energy clear, their silence full. Because they too have learned that real strength is not measured in force, it's measured in peace. And peace, when earned, becomes the purest form of power. You begin to see differently. You no longer take everything personally. You no longer need to prove yourself in every conversation. You no longer fight battles that have no meaning. You start choosing peace like oxygen, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. And slowly, everything changes. Your relationships become simpler. Your thoughts become quieter. Your emotions stop pulling you in every direction. You begin to live with clarity. And in that clarity, there's beauty. Because now, when the world breaks you, you don't fall apart. You simply change shape. You adapt. You shine differently. But you never stop shining. The glass heart doesn't break. It transforms. It learns to let go of what it cannot hold and to love what it cannot keep. That is the essence of Stoic resilience, not to be unfeeling, but to be unbroken by feeling. So if your heart feels too soft for this world, remember, softness is not your weakness. It's your proof that you are still alive, still capable of love, still brave enough to care. Don't let the world convince you that to feel deeply is to lose, because the moment you stop feeling, you stop living. The world doesn't need harder hearts. It needs braver ones. Hearts that break and rebuild with wisdom. Hearts that stay open even after the storm. Hearts that reflect light, even through cracks. That's the glass heart. It is not fragile. It is sacred, because what breaks you refines you, and what refines you becomes your strength.